friends. This is Coach Roger. You live younger, longer, health coach. I want to tell you my story, how I got to where I am. 18 years ago, when I was 63, I didn't. My wife didn't ski anymore. My son did. My son skied. I skied, and he was stationed in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And so I was blessed with a job. I could get 4-day weekends pretty much whenever I desired. And so I called him up one day. I said, "How about if I come out on Friday? We go skiing Saturday, Sunday. I fly home on Monday." It's a great idea. So lo and behold, on March 7th in 2008, I jump on an airplane and head for Cheyenne, Wyoming via Denver. And we get our equipment that night. We drive over to Steamboat Springs in Colorado. For those that you know about skiing, it's a pretty darn nice place. And they had 400 inches of snow and it was primo. Nothing wrong with me. That's a key to it. I had a physical a month before this and there was nothing wrong with me. So we jump on a chair, we get to mid station, we go up on top of the mountain, about third run down. I say, "Matt, we need to get over there and get something in the restaurant," because we'd already been up for about 3 hours. So we took the chair up, we skied over to the restaurant, which was probably a mile and a half or better. And this is on top of the mountain. If you've never skied out west, there's huge restaurants on top of the mountain. And when I got there, I was so proud of myself because I didn't fall down, but I had a dull ache. I had a dull ache right here. And I remember our first experience in Colorado skiing at Snowmass. They carried somebody off the mountain dead from a heart attack. And I'm going, "Oh man, this can't be happening to me. I'm in shape. There's nothing wrong with me." Well, I go inside. I climb a set of steps. I sit down on a table. This lady's waiting for her husband to bring some food back. I get a bottle of water. I throw up. I start sweating. I say I got a dull ache in my chest. This lady grabs my wrist, takes my pulse, gets the ski patrol. They take me off the mountain on a toboggan with oxygen for observation at Steamboat Hospital. Once I got stabilized by the ski patrol, I felt fine. Okay. And when they heard my story about being in shape and nothing wrong with me, they said, "Well, it may just be the altitude. Maybe you get a stress test tomorrow, or whatever." Well, the enzymes went up that night. So on Sunday, I got a flight in the King Air from Steamboat Springs to the Heart Center in the Rockies in Loveland. My wife came out that night. She'd stayed home to have a sister's weekend. She came out Sunday night. Monday morning, I had 2 stents, recovered Tuesday, discharged on Wednesday, flew home on Thursday, and was back in the office on Friday going, "What the H just happened?"
Oh,
5 days ago, I did not have a disease, a chronic disease. As far as the doctors went, I was healthy. But where I live in Statesville, North Carolina, the altitude's 900 and we're skiing at 10,000 feet. Okay. Steamboat Village is at 8,000 feet and you go uphill from there to go skiing. And I went, wow. Well, on the plane going out, the first angel of the day was a lady. I got on the plane. She was in the middle seat. She had a baby on her lap. I said, "This is going to be absolutely horrible." Well, she was from my hometown of Brecksville, Ohio. Graduated from the same high school. What are the odds of that? And she'd given me a CD at the time, and I gave her a business card when I helped her get off the airplane. And uh, after going through heart rehab, when I got back to Statesville, I took it serious and I said, "Okay, I got to go through heart rehab." And so I did. I saw all these people with the magic, how they open a hood on you. And I'm going, I don't ever want that. And I got through heart rehab. I find this CD and it's all about fruits and vegetables in capsules. And it's by a PhD biochemist researcher. Okay. And how this fruits and vegetables in the capsule helped her in her recovery from when she was an athlete running and so forth. And she did a lot of research on it and found out that it did. It helped her. And was proof positive that it did the body good. So I called the angel up on the airplane, and I said, "Is this stuff real?" She said, "Yes." And she was a nurse practitioner, trained in Cleveland Clinic, and was a pediatric nurse practitioner and had baby on her lap was number 6. And from baby number 4 through baby number 9, all she ever did for prenatal vitamins was Juice Plus.
Wow.
And I said, well, I guess this stuff works. So I took it. I got involved with a business that I never wanted to do, and I learned more about it. And Dr. Sears, Dr. Bill Sears, who is kind of known as America's pediatrician,
Hmm.
um, was a spokesperson for Juice Plus, and he had Dr. Sears Wellness Institute. And he since is retired, and that's morphed over into ACE, American Council on Exercise. But I became a lean certified health coach. That's lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition. And so I stayed with Juice Plus. I've been taking it for 18 years. People, and I just started PT because I've got some balance issues. And if you remember, the heart attack was in 2008. This is when I was 63. This is 18 years later. So you do the math. Now, the PT lady, she said, I thought you were 63. So I know I'm doing stuff right. And I've been going, I met Don at a South Iredell Healthcare Forum. And people our age, people in their 50s and 60s, they got to know they can thrive. And all this, we need holistic medicine. We don't have a healthcare system in America. We got a disease care system in America. And that's what I'm all about is doing that. And I'm really taking my Ask Coach Roger branding and through our friends at YouTube, trying to build a community of seniors helping seniors live younger longer. And I got to that point in life after 7 reinventions. You can see that on my bio eventually. And I just love what I'm doing. And when there's no better feeling, and I'm sure Don, you and Gina both, when you help somebody where they don't have to take a pill, but give them advice, give them exercises to do as an occupational therapist. That's a lot of where you are.
Yes.
And when I hear people come up to me and say, thank you for introducing me to Juice Plus, and it makes me feel good.
Well, hello, this is Don,
And this is Gina.
and we're with Focus Healthy Family, and this is our podcast number 236. And today we're talking with Roger Bejcek.
Correct.
Oh, I
Yeah.
said it right. Yes. And he's a health and wellness coach. And today we're talking with Roger about seniors helping seniors live younger, longer. And, currently semi-retired after a distinguished career of 4 decades in product management and business development, Mr. Bejcek is now making an impact on health and wellness sector. He operates under the brand name Ask Coach Roger, though through which he is dedicated to coaching and consulting with individuals, particularly those 35 years and older, to help them prioritize healthy eating and lifestyle choices. As a certified health coach, he networks through various sales programs, plans, and conducts workshops, and produces informational podcasts. Ask Coach Roger. His program focuses on 4 pillars: opening one's internal pharmacy, living healthier, eliminating waste, and living without pain and inflammation. Mr. Bejcek is a franchisee with Juice Plus Company, a role he has had since 2011, where he builds teams and promotes products supported by clinical research. So, and the rest of his bio is going to be on the website. You
Description.
can read through it. Um, and welcome, Roger.
Thank
Glad to
you.
have you
Thank
here.
you.
So your conversation is one that I'm very familiar with. You know, I've I've been through 2 heart attacks,
Oh
and
my.
And
And he's had the zipper procedure. He had
yes,
open
that
heart
was
surgery.
the wonderful thing, that I have anybody that's joined that club, I call them the zipper club, the heart zipper club, because but anyway, so I'm kind of curious as to the community you talked about. You've talked about that as you opened up. What do you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, when I started my podcast with on YouTube in 2025, I didn't really know where I was going with it. But as it evolved, and I kept putting things out there, and I kept looking at the analytics. Okay, the people that were watching, I tried targeting some 30-year-olds, didn't get anything. And as my age, people that resonate with me are people more in my age and thriving after 55. That caught on. And so thought, well, how do I do this? And how do I get people involved? I want to do a community of seniors. The majority of people watching what I'm doing are from 55 up. Every once in a while, because of the title, I get people in their 35s and 40s. Whereas that's where they need to start. The reason I
Hmm.
had a heart attack was I'll put it right back on the sad American diet. Absolutely. I too many French fries, too many hamburgers, too many Diet Cokes, and I can't even drink a Diet Coke today. Anyway, so people are interested because they're literally. I look at some other YouTube channels, and seniors are in their concern, and they think differently than the youngsters do. And so all I'm doing, I'm giving advice. They want to talk. I want to be their accountability partner. I want them to be my accountability partner too. And so I really feel that there is a movement out there of people that are willing to help people and may do it through comments. And I'm glad to talk to them, come in, and we'll go through those four areas you said, internal pharmacy, et cetera, and do that in depth, one-on-one. But it just that it's powerful what the internet can do for good, and
Yeah.
that's what I want. That's what I'm doing.
Well, and it's I know Juice Plus is your big component in this, but what other
Right.
things do you do to have them live longer? What kind of things do you practice in your work?
Well, one is attitude, and that's where you are. It's all about attitude and having you just have to live in the present, and you have to accept the things that happen. Our bodies are going to change some. We aren't going to be as strong. We aren't going to be as fast and all that. So I just come in and tell me what you're looking for, and I'll work with you as your accountability partner to make changes. Are you eating too much salt? Are you eating too much candy? Are you eating too much, drinking too much whiskey? That's one of my problems. I like my whiskey, and I got to if I fight it. And I love my ham biscuits. I never knew what a ham biscuit was till we moved to the South. But man, you take ham biscuit. Yeah, can't tell you
Yes.
how many times a month I go, no, fix your breakfast here. It's cheaper, it's healthier, and then do it. But probably once a month I have a ham biscuit or sausage biscuit because that's what you got to do. You got to do. You don't want to deprive yourself. You
Hmm.
want to
Yeah.
live and you want to thrive. And thriving is enjoying life, and enjoying life is food and drink and socializing. Uh, about a month ago, I did a whole week on loneliness, community and loneliness, and how
Hmm.
loneliness is a killer. It really is. It's just a depression, and that's where the community, to me, the community can come in there, and people can make friends on this on YouTube and Facebook.
Hmm.
via that and or the telephone. But I would like, I found when people want to get healthier, and but yet, hey, okay, you want to pay me $100 an hour? They so I'm going to flood them with information, and uh, I'm not going to. I don't lecturing them. I'm trying to get away from lecturing them. That doesn't do any good.
Mhm.
Um, and provide them with tips of of you know what supplements are you using? Why are you using it? Did your friend tell you about this? I look at all these big jugs of protein mix and so forth. I'm going, why? Th- Here I got this little packet. It's got 13 grams of protein in it, all plant-based, 100%. Carries a food label. It doesn't carry a supplement label. It carries a food label. And that's it. And I don't know if you want me to throw out the secret diet yet, but I will
No.
tell you the secret
We'll
diet.
hold that off. We want to hold that off to
We'll
the
keep that
very
at
end.
end. Well, and you talk about your internal pharmacy. I'm guessing, does that relate to the diet? Are there other components of that?
Uh, Several years ago, I cannot remember the fellow's name, but he discovered when you exercise, your endothelium gives off nitric oxide. Okay. And it opens your endothelium up so that the phytonutrients you have from plants, the body knows where they're supposed to go. I don't know how these cells do it, but the cells know where they're supposed to go. The cell that needs it opens up and the right product goes in there. But that whole thing, and that's the number one preventer against heart attacks is exercise. Now, exercise to the extreme where you're brutalizing your system, that's not good either. But that's the whole thing with the fact that our body wants to heal itself. And if you put the right nutrition in it, it's going to take the phytonutrients, which is at the cellular level, to the right cells at the right time in the right amount. And in my 18, I've been taking the product for 18 years, been active in the business, et cetera, since 2012, 2011. I've been sick. The longest I've been sick with a cold is a day and a half, and maybe once a year, sometimes none, but maybe twice a year. And my wife, the pharmacist, who she wouldn't take it because she was tired, didn't want to take any capsules. About 3 years, she said, "Okay, I quit. I'll take them." And she's pretty much the same. And when we travel, we double up on it. And
Mhm.
I see so many people, they take a trip on an airplane to Cancun or somewhere and they come back and they're sick. We had daughter lives in Hawaii for a while. Our another daughter lives in Montana. Matthew was in Europe, and we've been to all those places and have not gotten sick off an airplane. So it works. And when I started with Juice Plus, they had 19 clinical studies published in peer-reviewed um, magazines, peer-reviewed journals. They now have 49, and um, it's proven that it affects the immune system, gut health, body composition, athletic performance, cognitive function, skin health, cardiovascular health, lung function, dental function, bioavailability, antioxidant protection, inflammation, DNA, and nutrigenics. And it's the price of less than the price of a cup of coffee. And that's what I mean about it. And the other thing is, to live lean, your lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition, you just got to pay attention to it all. And you have to, as we just came up with a clever statement, don't count years, count deposits in your internal individual retirement account for health.
I like that.
And the old 80-20 rule really works because you got to enjoy life. And
Hmm.
and
Yeah. I always talk about that too. So I work for a naturopathic doctor, and the program they have is they cut you out of sugars and coffees and all. I mean, they really bring it down to kind of bare minimum. And I always said to people, I talk to them about the mind part of it and help them do that, but they always complain to me about, why do I have to give up all of this? Like, I'm giving up my chocolate. I can't give up my. So I always kind of tell them, this at some point you got to think about, there got to be some points that some good stuff come to you anyway. So I like what you're talking about. You have to kind of give yourself breaks here and there of giving you a little bit of this, that, like your ham and biscuit, sandwich that you
right.
go through once in a while.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like what you said about 80-20. 80% of the time you're eating this good, healthy diet, and then you allow yourself those days where you can
Yeah.
eat whatever you enjoy. Just,
Yeah. It and that's something I've seen too about coaching. And when I look at ACE coaching program, and they're all about, come in, I'm going to give you a rigid set of exercises, rigid diet, and so forth. That is not what I'm about. I want you to look at what you're eating, look at
hmm
what you're not exercising in, and and you move, just move. What's Saturday? Okay, my wife went to a project in another town for her miniature club. So I proceeded to vacuum the entire house. As I haven't done that in quite a while. I vacuumed the entire house, took the Tenneco and washed my floor in the office, washed the kitchen floor, washed the back hall, washed the bathroom floor. 2.5 hours, constant motion. Yeah, I was tired. And I'm going, I'm not going to the gym today. But
hmm
that's what people got to do. And they got to understand that if you don't move, you're just going to wither up.
hmm
Yeah.
You can come to our house any day and do that. That would be great. We got three bathrooms. You can wash those, do all that. But no, you talked about loneliness. That's another, and one of the things I read is that being alone, loneliness isn't just about being on your own. You can be loneliness in a group,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's when you end up losing the partner, or you end up losing somebody that you. And so, what kind of things do you do to help people with the loneliness? I mean, the community you talked about is a good thing. Is there other things that you work with?
Well, I think in some of the coaching I've had is try to uh, get people to have a community. Our community here in town, our kids don't live, they live far away,
hmm
and parents are all gone, sisters gone. Uh, so how do you interact with people? Just pick up the telephone and call somebody out of gratitude. I've told people that a lot. And I've done that. Open your phone up. How many? You got more than 10 people in there. Just scroll through it. Punch somebody's name, call up and say, "Hey, this is Roger. I'm thinking of you today. How are you?" And build a community that way. I don't know how to get people past depression. I mean, that's out of my wheelhouse, and
hmm
my sister-in-law is there along with alcoholism, and that's tough. And she had where she was living, she had no friends after her husband died. She was totally lost.
Mm,
Yeah.
And I really I don't have anything specific other than personal life and coaching and accountability. How can you make friends? Do you go out? Do you have people you do dinner with? We don't even know our neighbors anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah,
our family revolves around really close people from church over the last 50 years. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, finding that community
yeah,
and talking to people on the phone, it's become kind of a novelty because we're doing everything text messaging and all that. And so it is nice to just pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody, um, and just how valuable that is. I've done some work with a health coach, and we've done it kind of as a group. And so they're like 5 women. And so that accountability aspect is so helpful that you've got other people to reach out to and know that you're kind of all in the same thing together.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
Go ahead.
accountability partner in the community, I'm finally I've been doing it consistently enough that people are starting to comment, and I'm starting to learn how to ask the right questions for comments.
mhm.
And so,
With your ask the Roger ah ask Coach Rogers. I'll get it out straight here. Um, do people you don't have a place where people like call in, but you just said you have people that do ask
On the
questions.
website.
yeah, and it's not as many as I like, but it's growing. So,
Sure.
and I
No,
tell them this is where you've got to make sure you answer all these calls. I listened to a fellow on YouTube. His name was Larry. He's 72 years old, and his granddaughter taught him how to use YouTube. And so he started, and he's just a good old boy, sheetrock repairer, painter, just total blue collar kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But he's got a gift for gab. And he goes out and he's either in his van or underneath this covered thing on his farm, and he's talking to people. And and his stick is how to survive retirement. And went along and he got monetized on YouTube in a year. And I was watching him, and he had like 5,000. And then he went from 5 or 6 thousand subscribers to 20,000 in a matter of 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I'm going, and that's what he was saying. What did I say? What did I do? He said, I
He
don't know
didn't
what I
even know what he
did.
did.
And that's kind of where I am. And I have a woman that helps me with my website, and she's really encouraged me now. And I'm finally comfortable in front of the camera. I can sit down here, and go to Chat GPT with an idea, and they expand on it, and I sort it all out. And I've kind of figured out how I can put half of it on as a teleprompter while I'm recording it. So
that's
I
right.
know all this is going to be cut out, but you're helping
No.
me through a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we did the stuff we talked about before wasn't on recording, so we're good at that. What just curious as to what kind of questions do you get asked?
Um, well, this one, he just put the word yes, and he just lost his love of his life, a good sex partner, and he didn't know what he was going to do. And I said, I'm sorry for your loss. I really can't tell you what did that either. But he was a clinical psychologist and said he's treated at least 10,000 people in his career. And, so I'm going to kind of do some more conversation with him. But normally one or two lines, and that's it. And uh, you're right on the exercise, but they aren't asking questions, and I try to pull more out of them.
Hmm.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Um, so talking a little bit more about your 4 pillars. I know you touched on quite a bit of it, but just to go over that a little more with us.
Okay, yeah, the 4 pillars really of being a lean certified health coach
Mm-hmm.
is lifestyle, is how we move. Lifestyle is how we live, excuse me. For exercise, how we move. A is attitude, how we think, and N is nutrition. And lifestyle, are you staying up too late? Are you drinking too much? Are you watching the wrong things? Are you always angry? Always stressed? Uh, People just I guess I was driven at a point when I was a contractor, and what my wife says, she said, you work 6:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, 5 days a week. And it never felt bad, but it played a role in the heart attack at age 63.
Hmm.
Um, and then exercise, just like I said, cleaning house is work.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting your own grass. If you gotta if you have a yard that could take you an hour to cut with a walking lawnmower, people need to know they have them self-propelled. I have pushed a lawnmower one day in my life, and I said I will never do that again. And even when I was a kid, I had a self-propelled lawnmower. Uh, you know, get the mail. Go take 100 feet down the driveway and get your mail. Go for a walk around the block. Get a dog. Yeah.
Simple things
And
that
then
that
attitude. In one of my talks, it was you turn into what you tune into.
Mm.
And
mm,
with all the conspiracy theories and the crap that's on the internet, I see it all the time. Did you know that this was going to happen? Did you know DT was doing this? Did you know Joe Biden was doing that? Whoa, geez. And then, uh, you know, just it's not real. We used to watch CBS Morning with Gail King and a couple of people. We don't even do that anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get lost down a rabbit hole and get, yeah, lost in the negative aspects of things. And it does affect our attitude
Um,
quite a bit.
but
Well,
yeah.
now we can get to the secret tip that you have.
Ah, okay. Uh, as I grew in the Juice Plus company and uh, went to national conventions, they started having a national nutraceutical conference during the convention, and I went to two of them. And nutraceuticals, the term has only been around maybe 15 years, and nutraceuticals are a plant or parts of a plant that are known to be uh, effective in healing. Okay.
Mhm.
As opposed to pharmaceuticals, which are all chemical made. So in these nutraceutical conferences, they had these PhDs from around the world, and they had some of the most boring stuff you ever want to hear. But all of them, I think, there was five or six speakers the first year. They said all the diets work and all the diets fail because there's always something missing. And the secret diet is eat real food, not too much, mostly plant-based. That's the secret diet. And I'm living proof when I went through a 30-day detox thing with Juice Plus, where I was having two shakes a day, one good meal at night, and was never hungry. I went from 42-inch middle to 39-inch middle in a matter of 30 days, and I felt good. I really have felt good since that because I've really that got me totally aware of real food will you'll feel good and you don't have to eat as much. And the older you get, Lord knows we don't have to eat as much. But
Yes.
that's the secret diet.
Well,
Eat
that sounds good.
real food, not too much, mostly plant-based.
So, I guess kind of wrap it up here. Tell us what's the best way for them to be able to get a hold of Ask Coach Rogers.
To find out about you.
Yeah, askcoachroger.com, uh, roger.juiceplus.com, and uh, YouTube channel is youtube.com/ at Ask Coach Roger 8591. And I can send you a slide that's got QR codes on it.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. We
that
can put
sounds
that
It'll
in
good.
the
probably help you
description of the
forget.
podcast. Yeah.
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 No, we really thank you for being here. You've given us a lot of good information.
Hmm.
Um,
And I love
and
that you're, connecting with seniors because I know, Don's found that with having his heart attack and people relate to you because they can, you've been through things that they've been through and it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And um, so
How old were
appreciate
you when you had your heart attack,
the
Don?
first one was what, 50?
52.
52.
Ooh.
And then I had one about a year and a half ago, 2022, 2.5 years, I guess.
2023, yeah. Yeah, he's
2020.
got a lot of genetic factors involved with his as well,
Okay.
but
Okay, because that
didn't
fit
grow
fit
up on the healthiest diet though either. Till he met me, we got eating a little better.
that's good. That's good. And that's something else too. Happily married people, I think, live longer too, and that's kind of a known fact.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, at age 50, wow,
Yeah.
wow,
Yep. And like you, we thought he was healthy, but
Yeah, you
we
don't know
don't we
that.
don't always realize, what's going on in our body, and we don't tune in and pay attention, which is important.
and that's what I try to get through to people too. And the long form YouTube videos are somewhat making a comeback, but that Opus clip is just
Hmm. Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we get a lot of people through that coming to us. Well, thank you, Roger, so much for being
Oh,
here today. We've
thank
really
you.
enjoyed this conversation with you, and we thank all our listeners to listening to the Focused Healthy Family podcast. If this conversation has helped you, please take a minute to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with someone who might benefit from it. If you find stress, panic, and overwhelm are becoming part of your daily routine, consider Don's EFT Discovery Series. EFT tapping is often described as weird, but it works. Many
It
people
does.
start out skeptical, but after a few sessions, they're saying, wow, look what EFT has done for me. For wellness tips, caregiver resources, and more episodes, visit us at focusedhealthyfamily.com or focusedhealthyfamilypodcast.com. You can connect with us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, we are Focused Healthy Family 1, and again on YouTube at Focused Healthy Family. New episodes of the podcast are released every Thursday. And Don is available to speak to organizations, caregiver groups, healthcare teams, and community groups about practical ways to reduce stress and build resilience in caregiving environments. For information about booking Don to speak at your location, please reach out to schedule a presentation or a workshop. And remember, how you speak to your children and your loved ones today shapes their future and yours.